Alright, ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing? A little bit of a different video today, but I thought it's just the Lunchley situation that's going on at the moment. It's really interesting. I find it fascinating, the whole thing that's blowing up about it. Essentially, to set the scene, Logan Paul, KSI, and Mr. Beast have just started a Lunchley brand. They released a teaser a few days ago about the product they were unveiling. I mean, I'll put the thing up on the screen, but if you couldn't tell that was Mr. Beast in the shadow, I feel like I've seen that man so many places in my lifetime. I know his shadow, I know his head better than my own head. You know what I mean? Like, I know his shadow better than my own shadow, you know? Essentially, the count of this trailer, we're going to play it on screen now. Releasing a new product called Lunchley, which is essentially a Lunchables kind of knockoff, but they're trying to fill that gap in the market where Lunchables is and dominating the field. So let's have a little watch. Just briefly, there seems to be such a big push for electrolytes in products. I know electrolytes are good for like muscle repair, brain function. You need those salts and stuff like that, those natural salts. But there seems to be such a massive push for electrolytes. That's like the main selling point of Prime now, it seems. Just those electrolytes.
Which one has better ingredients? Alright, we'll start off with the Lunchables.
Okay, we'll end it there. We'll end it there. I mean, just with the reactions alone, I think that just tells you. So the whole kind of drama is essentially blown up because of a tweet made by DanTDM. He essentially responded to the post, absolutely ratioed the post completely. I think he's nearly got 500,000 likes on this tweet. So essentially this whole situation is kind of blown up by a tweet that DanTDM made about it, saying, "What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better." And yeah, I completely agree with DanTDM here. There's very much a thing on YouTube nowadays of YouTubers branching out and creating their own business ventures, which I've got nothing against. I've got nothing against merch stuff. I've bought some YouTube merch in the past. Product ventures, stuff like that with the Prime festivals. We'll get into that shortly, but I've not got a problem with that. But it's knowing, do I really need to do? How is this benefiting my viewers? How is this benefiting my fans? Kind of thing. Logan Paul responds to exactly the way I've said about building small businesses. He says, "I'll tell you what happened to YouTubers. We spent our lives creating content and building our brands. Now we want to build businesses. You don't say anything when Lunchables faces bans for allegedly containing lead. But when we create a better version, you're upset. Then don't eat it." I really don't think Dan was planning on eating it in the first place. Again, Logan mentioned this whole idea about building businesses. YouTubers are very much going away from being YouTubers. YouTube nowadays seems like a platform to build your business, build your brand on, rather than being an individual. And I think we're seeing it so apparent with this whole kind of, I'd say scandal, but this whole situation, is you're seeing these content creators moving away from being content creators and becoming brands themselves. This kind of spiraled out of control when KSI responded to the tweet. KSI said to DanTDM, "Looks like crap to me," and this was in response to some previous products that DanTDM has made in the past. Obviously, DanTDM's got a lot of younger fans, back then very heavily Minecraft orientated. So he had a few Tube Heroes toys that came out that were also tagged in this tweet from KSI, along with a U2's figure and one or two other bits I can't quite remember. The U2's figure is quite apparent though. Obviously, KSI's had his own U2's figures. I think he's had a few actually. He had one for the Sidemen charity match and one for his boxing endeavours. But the owner of U2's, or the CEO of U2's, Austin Long, used to be a Sidemen manager. So with this tweet, you're kind of digging out your own, previous partner or previous work partner. It just seems a little bit out of pocket. That's again what has blown up a lot of people's opinion about the situation. The thing with criticism, you shouldn't respond to criticism. You shouldn't snap back at criticism, because then that makes the situation a lot worse for yourself. If someone didn't like your movie, you don't see directors going out and shouting at the fans who said it was awful. They just hold their tongue and move on to the next project. And they look at the tweets of the people who enjoy the film and think, right, at least someone's enjoyed it. But, that's a whole other topic entirely. The toys, there's very much a difference between toys and food. Food is nutrition, KSI. Toys is brain stimulation and brain function and how the brain is learning at a younger age. That's why we play with toys. Our brain is learning. And again, it's this tweet that has sparked it all. This looks like crap to me. Jacksepticeye's hopped in. He said, you mess with DanTDM, you mess with YouTube, which is fair enough. I mean, Jacksepticeye's mentioned openly his dislike for Mr. Beast and how Mr. Beast has changed YouTube as a whole, which I believe is true. He has. It was in a Tommy Innit, he said. Tommy Innit video that he said this on a lie detector test about not openly liking Mr. Beast.
Now, Jack, a completely unrelated question. Do you like Mr. Beast?
No.
Jack, do you think Mr. Beast ruined YouTube?
Yes.
Now, in all honesty, Jack, why?
Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun.
And, you know, Mr. Beast is great and all. I must admit, I'm not his biggest fan. I believe he's certainly become a business himself rather than a creator. But I'm not going to get into that. iBallistic Squid hopped on the trend as well. I don't know what his tweet was. I'll get that up on the screen, but he was basically digging out the whole situation. A lot of people have just jumped on the bandwagon here, and I can completely understand why. I can see what they're trying to do with Lunchly. Lunchly is a notoriously high sodium product filled with lead. I don't know much about the lead situation, to be honest. American food is very much different to the UK. You'd never see a Lunchables product in the UK. I believe we do. It might be Dairy Lee, I think we've got, but it's not overly popular. You know, school lunches are a really big thing out here. I don't think it's quite so apparent in America, but school lunches are a really big push in the UK, so you tend to get a lot of school meals through that. So kids aren't as necessarily worried about bringing packed lunches and stuff like that. But essentially, the whole premise is that they're making a product that isn't encouraging healthy habits. It's a processed product filled with, you know, salts, you know, fats, even though they're boasting the lower calories, lower stuff like that, which I can understand. But it does just seem like a marketing ploy. You know, Prime's included in there, Feastables is included in there and stuff like that. I mean, Mr. Beast has said in the past that he wants to help people create healthy products, and I just, like, you know, you've got Mr. Beast Burger, you've got Feastables, you've now got Lunchly. I mean, come on, you know what I mean? And it's, I think the problem is mostly with working with Logan. Logan's had a bit of a sketchy past. I mean, he's done tons of crypto scams and stuff. It's a clear sign of just wanting to take your money and run. And that's where people lose the trust. I mean, I admire Logan for bringing back interest to the Pokemon card scene, but that's about it, really. In terms of that, he has been in a very wide number of controversies surrounding money and crypto scams. And you wonder why people see this and just think red flag instantly. You're selling this to make money. That's all you're doing. You're making money for the sake of making money. You can sell the Prime brand for it. You can sell the Feastables brand for it. Both massive brands in America. Not as apparent in the UK, but massive brands in America, which is obviously their main selling point here. But again, there are so many better ways and so many better places to invest time in rather than the food and nutrition. But I guess that's where they're trying to go. There are so many better uses for your time and money rather than investing in processed kids' food, if that makes sense. The situation also blew up a bit. KSI's a little bit of a Twitter warrior. I mean, I like KSI and all. I'm not a bigger fan of him as I used to be. I'm not a bigger fan of the Sidemen as I used to be. But he is a real Twitter warrior. He essentially has prolonged this by putting out another tweet, which was about a sponsorship or a brand deal that DanTDM did nearly 9-10 years ago at this point with a group called the Munch Pack. They essentially made monthly boxes that could come to your door full of snacks, goodies, mostly from foreign countries. So you get American snacks there, some Japanese, Vietnamese. It was just a bunch of random assortments of candies, snacks, confectionery. And DanTDM did a sponsorship with them. Obviously, confectionery, sweets, chocolate, not the best thing. You know, it's not the healthiest thing, but this is 10 years ago we're talking about now, and you're digging up this. This is also a sponsorship and a brand deal, not a product he's investing in or a product that he's selling around the world. This is just a sponsor into the channel. You know, smaller channel back then, you need the sponsorships. I'm sure you've done a lot worse sponsorships. There's obviously all that controversy of JJ and Logan's crypto scams. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole different topic. But I'm sure they've had a few business ventures themselves or sponsorships that they're not proud of. So why call out this Munch Pack sponsorship from years ago in the past? It just seems so out of pocket. And again, not being able to take criticism is a bad thing. And again, going straight to Twitter and tweeting this out is not the best look for you. MrBeast also come out and tweeted essentially what they're trying to achieve with this product. It wasn't in response to Dan or anything, it's just in response to people saying their opinions and stuff like that. He said Lunchables sells hundreds of millions of units and countless people eat it. Our goal is to give people a better, for you alternative to it. Our turkey meal, for example, is 80 less calories, 60% less sugar, more electrolytes. We use real cheese, they use cheese product, higher quality meat, etc. And I'll leave the rest up on screen for you to read. But yeah, essentially, I understand. They're trying to make a Lunchables alternative, one that's slightly healthier for you. I just feel they could go about it in such a better way. Could you not invest in perhaps more packed lunch foods? Maybe less processed? I don't know. The product is $4. I mean, this is going to be the most easily accessible product to anyone. $4, you get yourself Prime, Feastables, and the meal. Kids are going to eat this up. Parents are going to see the price tag and think, yeah, okay, $4, we can shell out the money for that. I mean, $4, that'd be about £3 exactly in the UK, maybe £3 5 pence. So it's affordable, and I can understand why people are going to buy into this. But again, is this the best way to invest your time and your money as content creators? I mean, back to my point from earlier, content creators are going away from being, individuals to being brands, and we need to see a little bit less of this. I've got no objection to YouTubers wanting to venture out into their own, products and stuff, sell their brand, sell their name. But it gets to a point where are you just doing this to benefit your fans, and when are you doing this just to make more money? And these guys really don't need more money, I can tell you that, for one. YouTube is very much a thing where you've always been able to make money from. Originally at the start, people didn't realise. But a lot of people do it because they enjoy making the content. I enjoy making the content. I enjoy doing those random bits of video and stuff like that. And the money, if I ever make money off YouTube, is that little bit extra to keep me going, or that little bit extra that I can invest in the channel for videos. But you're seeing this trend now where it's that money is what fuels progression on YouTube. That urge to make more money is what fuels that progression, fuels that brand overtake. And you start to question, is this because it's benefiting your fans, or is this just to make more money? And I think that's where this whole debate has sparked with this topic. But that was just my take on the situation. Obviously, over the next kind of few days, there'll be some more tweets coming out about it. I just wanted to state my opinion on it, give my say. I'm obviously on the side of DanTDM here. DanTDM literally never gets involved in controversy, so he's got a kid. When would this guy ever get in a controversy now? But if he's saying something, then it's like, come on. But I'm definitely more on his side. I think it's just a poor business venture from JJ, MrBeast, and Logan. I've got no problem with a Prime. I've obviously invested in Prime myself over the years. I've got a few Prime bottles that sit just off camera there from when I was out in America. I've got no problem with it. I'm not a big fan of the drink, but I'm not a Prime hater. Prime hater, if that's a thing. But it's just a case of, really, we need to start picking out. There's a fine line here of the kids who see this and they see the content creators and they invest in the product because they see these faces, they see these content creators investing in this product and selling this product. And you've got the late teens and the adults who are looking at this product and thinking, yeah, this is a cash grab. And that's what I think it is. But yeah, just my hot take on it. That's all. Peace.